So we'll get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Jess Wallace, and I'm one of the social work librarians. I work primarily with on-ground social work students, and my colleague Jen Goldberg could not make this one, but she will be in the other ones, and she's on the first recording. So thanks for coming back for the second social work research hour. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, we talked about topics and keywords, and that recording is available. And I'm going to quickly show you how to get there through research guides, social work, the sign up here link, and all of the recordings are going to be available right here. So today we're going to kind of expand on kind of what you do after you find a topic and you do develop some keywords. We're going to talk about searching, actually finding the articles, and also about some social work databases that you might be interested in. So last time we did a search on substance use disorder in teens in Boston. So we came up with some lovely keywords and we put them into the search bars and we searched 2 of them on title. So we're going to kind of take that next step and look at the results that we get. And if you want more information about how we came up with those, why we use title, or how we got to this point, definitely take a look at the first video. So first of all, we went directly into Social Index with Full Text, which is a database that has some great information for U.S. social work students. We also added a bunch of other databases to our search. I'm just going to come and point out some others that you may be interested in adding to other searches. So Academic Search Ultimate right here, that has a bit of everything, so it has some top journals in all fields. We also did CINAHL Complete because CINAHL is a nursing database, so they do have some information about about substance use disorder and maybe how on the nursing side it affects teens. If you were looking at something that has to do with gender, then I would recommend using this Gender Studies database and including that. If you were looking at anything that relates to LGBT folks in your research, then I would use LGBT Life with Full Text. So that has information on the entire queer spectrum. We go up to the second line. So Medline is a medical database. I would recommend that as well as PsycArticles and PsycInfo, which are psychology databases. And I would round it out with Social Work Reference Center, and then here is the Social Index with Full Text that we already had. If you're looking at something specifically that relates to women, I would probably use the Women's Studies International database. So that's just kind of a quick rundown on some other databases that you might want to use depending on what your topic is. We're going to click OK, and then click on Search. You can see we have 499 results that we got from this search. So they're automatically ranked via relevance, and since we did put 2 of the search lines under title, we searched only in the title, you can see we get a lot of results that have some of those words actually pulled out of the title in bold. So 499 results is a pretty great number to start with. It's probably a little too much for you to go through. I would say 50 to 200 is sort of an easy number for you to actually kind of quickly look through. So at this point, what I would do is change the publication date as you see fit for your project and your parameters. But let's say we're only looking in the last 20 years. So we'll do that, and you can see we get a few less, but still around the same number. Some other ways that you can modify your search are by checking this peer-reviewed box. So that means that, as most of you know, it's been reviewed by other experts in the field before publication. So I won't do that right now because I want to show you some of the source types that will go away when we click the peer reviewed button. But you can see we're getting mostly academic journals. And you'll often see academic journals and journals, and these are basically just two ways of saying the exact same thing that two different databases call them two different things. Magazines, we have some books, some dissertations. You can always click on show more. We have a couple of news stories and some reviews. And sometimes you'll get some videos that you may be able to watch that come up. So from here, there are a number of different things that you can do. I'm not going to go through them all, but kind of take a look at whatever facets you're able to limit by. You can see that there's 3 different subjects here, and that's also because we included a bunch of different databases in this search. So one of them calls subject at the source term, one of them calls it a major heading, and another one calls it just a subject. And if we take a quick look, we can kind of see, okay, we're looking at, substance abuse treatment maybe, or substance-induced disorders, and we can easily call out the results that we want from there. So I do encourage you to take a look at that, but hopefully this search has been pretty good to you and you have found what you wanted. So obviously the next step is trying to get the article itself. Now, if you scroll down and you see obviously HTML full text, PDF full text, or view full text, it's right there for you. You can just grab the full text from that. And if we scroll down and find a green Find Full Text button, now if you see this and you want the article, you can click on that button and it will do one of basically 2 things. So it could take you directly to the article or to the journal itself, so the journal web page, and then you'll just have to go back and say, okay, it was issue 4, and then you'll be able to click right into it. In that case, you don't have to do a whole lot, but let's find another one. So the other thing that can happen is you will get this access options page, which means that we don't have it. So you should first search Google Scholar, and it's right there for you. So you didn't have to request it from us. You can get it pretty much right away. If it's not on Google Scholar, however, you would want to request an interlibrary loan. So once you click on this, what you will want to do is sign in with just your regular username and password. The first time that you do sign in, you will want to fill out your information so that they know where they can send the item. And finally, go back and click on that request an interlibrary loan link again. So each subsequent time that you do that, it will automatically populate the information if it's anything that you find on a database, a book or an article. And it should come to your inbox within a couple of days. So it's pretty quick and easy. If it's a book that you're looking for, we have some different rules on that for online and distance students, depending on if you are an online or on-ground student. So definitely check with us there. So we're going to go back to the results page. So let's say this looks like something that I want. So I'm going to go click into the record. And you can see that we can search on the subject terms. So if I see one of those subject terms that I really like, I can click on it and bring up anything with those subject terms. The same goes with the authors. So if I've seen one of these authors around, or I want to see what else they've written, I can do the same thing, and the source. You can read the abstract here and kind of get an idea if that's something that you want to pursue getting. And then over here on the right-hand side, there's some handy tools for you. So you can email the article to yourself. You can cite it here. I'm going to bring that up and just show you a couple of things. So you can grab the APA citation right from here. However, what I would probably recommend doing, and we'll talk about this in a future, a session that we're going to do next week, I believe on Thursday. We're going to talk about some citation managers. So I would recommend using one of those, either EndNote or Zotero. But of course, you can grab this and just put it in your paper. I would be careful about these references because it pulls the information from the record, and if the record has anything incorrect in it, it'll just put that into the reference. So you have to double check and make sure that those are actually formatted correctly. And again, we'll talk about that in a future session, but I do want to show you very quickly where you can get more information about the citations. So we're on the Social Work Research Guide, and we got there through the Simmons University Library and through research guides. And if you scroll down on the left-hand side, you're going to see the APA Citation Guide. So we'll go over that more in the future. All right. So in terms of getting other kinds of social work information, you now know how to get your articles and any kinds of sources that are available within the library databases. But there can be so many more things that you might want for your papers, like policies, statistics, things like that. So we also have places where you can find those. So if we go from the main library page, again, into research guides, and into social work. And we scroll down. There are some policy links under social welfare policies and services. But the place that I would definitely look if you want to find stats is how to find statistics and demographics. So you can see we've collected a lot of resources for you on many different kinds of statistics. So we have some social work statistics right here. Gender statistics, foreign country, and you can kind of just scroll down if you're looking for any kind of statistic. We probably have a link to it, but if we don't, we can also help you find that. Okay. So we're going to go back, and I'm going to click on the Social Welfare Policies and Services page. And I want to show you where you can find federal, state, and local policies. So we have some Massachusetts related policy and law information right there, and some tools that track politics here, as well as where you can find federal policies and legislation. And I'm not going to go into any of them, but if you are interested in looking more and you can't find a certain policy, again, you can definitely get in touch with us. Okay. So in addition to those two things, the library databases that I showed you and the information in the research guides, there are also a number of other databases that relate to social work that you would not be able to find through the regular library search or through going into SocIndex, where we added all of the databases. That's only for a certain vendor. There are other databases that relate to social work. So if we click on the databases tab on the library webpage, and then we go to all subjects and filter it by social work, I want to point out a couple to you. Counseling and therapy and video. If you are looking for any kind of training materials in terms of actually doing counseling and therapy, that's a great place to look. The CQ Researcher, which is current events and some policy information, that's a good place to look as well. We do have the DSM Premium here. And we have the Encyclopedia of Social Work online database. So that's a great place to look if you are searching for general information in your field or for a specific topic. And if you can't get in, just try again later. We do have it limited to one concurrent user. Gender Watch is a gender studies database, gender and women's studies, and that you will have to search on its own, but it's pretty similar to searching SocIndex and those other databases that we showed you. JSTOR is sometimes helpful. And then if you're looking for statistics, again, we do have those lovely guides that show you where you can find statistics, but we do have Sage Stats and Simply Analytics, which are two great tools for you to actually do some digging around statistics. Great. So finally, I want to show you how you can actually follow some social work journals, social work specific journals, if you would like to. So instead of going and searching for what's new on your topic, one thing you can do is go to journals on the library homepage. And then if you scroll down to social science and behavioral science, click on into social work. And then you can either view all the social work related journals, or if you have a specific focus, let's say you are most interested in poverty and homelessness, you can see that the Journal of Poverty is within that scope. Let's see, health and mental health. Let's say you really want to follow the journal AIDS Care. So you want to click on that. It tells you when the full text is available and how far back it goes. And then you can click this button to add it to your bookshelf. You do have to create a login for it, but once you do, you'll be able to look at my bookshelf and then my articles, so those articles that you flagged that you like. So that's a great way to keep in touch with the new research that's coming out in social work, in a pretty snazzy little tool. So for those of you who are on the phone right now and online, are there any questions that I can answer about searching in social work databases? And if you would like, you can also, let's see, you can also chat me. And I'm happy to answer specific questions that you may have, or general questions. All right, so I will take that as nobody has any questions. You can get in touch with Jen or I, either through the social work research guide or just by booking an appointment with us again. And you can do that on the homepage of the library. Meet with a librarian.